Welcome to another edition of Whattaya Buyin, the show where I discuss the latest games, movies, and television. Let's start with the movies. This week's new releases are Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and The Duff. The Duff is a fairly well-received movie about a fat friend. Apparently, Duff stands for Designated Ugly Fat Friend. Man, I feel bad for anyone who went to high school being made fun of, being called that, and not having any friends to hang out. Your friends and even the gym teacher would joke at your expense. You're a bad man, Mr. Parsons. You're a bad man. Next up is Hot Tub Time Machine 2, a sequel to the movie that nobody really wanted, but people were okay with because it was pretty funny and enjoyable. It was great. But this one apparently stinks. It's a real big stinker. It has a really bad Metacritic score, and it just apparently reuses the same jokes, and John Cusack is not in the movie anymore. Fortunately for John Cusack, he decided to opt out of this one. Looked like he picked a good time to step out and dry off. Sounded way dirtier than it should have been. Now for this week's game releases. Next up is Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. Now I know what you're all thinking. It's a rehash, remake, re-release, re-whatever, HD something, but it's a great one at that. Because the Dead or Alive series is probably one of the best fighting series around. You have counters and special attacks and a great fighting system. It's actually one of my favorite fighting games around. And besides Mortal Kombat, everyone loves Mortal Kombat. Can't wait for that in April, huh? Yeah. Fatality, finish him. Those of you who are into fighting games but haven't played this series might be inclined to do so now. The price is cheaper than ever and includes all the DLC from the previous generation. I won't even go into detail about the scantily clad women and their assets. No, seriously, my fiance will kick my ass. Next up is the game we've all been waiting for. Dodd Bradman's Cricket 14. I have no idea how to play cricket or if it's even more interesting than baseball, but how do you play an insect anyway? Alright, I've actually saved the best, most interesting for last. The Order 1886. The Order 1886 has the most discussion of any video game so far this year. With controversy over its length and gameplay versus visuals, there is certainly a lot to think about here. Now that I have played and finished The Order, I can give you my complete thoughts on the game. The Order 1886 is a fantastic game with one hell of a premise. It takes place in, 1886 with a serious shift in history. This includes zeppelins, various advanced weaponry, and werewolves. That's an interesting take. The problems that the critics seem to have are the game's length and how the game actually seems to play. I completed The Order in about 5 to 6 hours and enjoyed almost every minute of it except for the ending, which was truly disappointing. I hear complaints about The Order that it doesn't give you as much freedom as many players would like. My opinion is that I think games have been giving you too much freedom lately. Like, every game you play is an open world game, open-ended game, and doesn't direct you in a singular path that you might want. The developers here wanted to take you on one single path and one storyline and make sure you follow that and enjoy the story that they worked so hard to create. And I completely agree. I think that they made every decision that they should, and it was great. I enjoyed it very much. Just they needed to work on that ending quite a bit because still think about it. Overall, I enjoyed The Order 1886 much more than most reviewers did. I knew what it was trying to do, and I went for the ride, and it was one hell of a ride. Look for my review at structurenetwork.com. Next, let's talk about television. I want to start with a show that has some interesting buzz around it, The Slap. The show is about a man who slaps a child at a family party, and then after that slap, their family secrets start to unravel. The idea seems strange, but it's getting pretty good reviews, and it's based off of a very popular TV series in Australia. Seems promising. Next, let's talk The Walking Dead. Last week's episode seemed to lack any interesting ideas or excitement, not the way that the last episodes have this season. There doesn't seem to be much accomplished, and I honestly can't remember too much detail about last week. The only thing I can remember is Daryl not being as happy as he used to be, but he really never was happy, so nothing accomplished this week. That's okay, we have next week. Hey, but at least it wasn't depressing. I don't think I can handle that. Not again. Alright, that'll do it for this week's Whattaya Buyin. Make sure to leave a comment and like the page, even subscribe if you're interested, and I'll be back for another episode next week. Thank you guys, I'm out.